welcome. My name's Kevin the Stoop for Bruce. We're here in Crusader Kings 3 once more with you all for another time lapse. Suggestion comes from the brain of Kevin, and his brain said, why not make every direct vassal to the HRE an Immortal 100 stat individual that has a direct claim to the Holy Roman Empire itself. To see if there is a battle royale, first prediction is that all of the Immortals are Catholic, so that will be the most prolific religion. Second prediction is that the Holy Roman Empire will make it as far as Perm. I feel like that's a pretty good understanding that they will expand this way and south, maybe as far as Ghana into Africa. And then finally, out of the 53 Immortals, only 25 or so will still be around by the end. So with that out of the way, let's see what happens in this timeline. I'll see you in a bit. Alrighty there, we're 536 years in the future, and the HRE has pretty much a hegemony over most of the world, at least most of Europe, except for somehow not cracked into Iberia just yet, and France is barely hanging on by the skin of its teeth. But you know, we got a massive empire. So let's look and see what's going on within the empire itself. We have the thickness, Kaiser Rudolph, running the show with a million or so troops. You know, you love to see it. The empire itself looks like it's an interesting breakdown. Looks like England controls most of England for whatever's in Sardinia owns most of the coast, the north of France. Ireland is eating Scotland. Good stuff. Lithuania has moved into Sweden. Good stuff to see. Africa exists, but it's just interesting that they've just, like, for whatever reason, they just scooted on by Iberia and just took over North Africa and just said, that's great. As we thought all of the Immortals were Catholic, so they were going to be the most prolific with 1,400 or so counties, which is amazing. I'm surprised they didn't make it farther, but looks like eventually they got petered out here in the east. Kingdom map mode and see any craziness. I think we're not going to see a lot of change around here just because the kingdoms weren't formed weirdly as much as in other times, whereas the Empire map mode will probably see a lot more change. Mongol Empire came in and shattered, and then the Holy Roman Empire picked up where they left off. Jerusalem has expanded, almost snuffing out all of the Arabian Empire. Awesome stuff. All right, let us then look at our Immortals. Let's see how many are left. I predicted that 25 would still be standing, and there are a roughly total of 16. Surprisingly a lot. Majority of them are it's seemingly unlanded. Well, that's not true, actually. Majority of them are landed still. They all are unwell for the most part. They seem to be not doing as well as they were. All right, let us check out and see how well the Kaisers did. All right, so we went ahead, and this was our first emperor. Von Habsburg somehow sprung onto the scene. His death was recorded as a suicide. After that came a murder by another immortal, I assume? Nope, just some stranger, just killing him. And last we have Kaiser Rudolf. So there was some sort of turnover between some immortals, but for the most part, it looks like a lot of them were either self-inflicted or brought in by somebody else, and then they maintained their power throughout. I want to see what it feels like the main cause of death amongst immortals is an interesting one. Usually I feel like it gets brought down to whether or not they were done in by their own kind. He dies under suspicious circumstances at the ripe old age of 112. She is also dies under suspicious circumstances. He dies in an accident. So looks like the majority of the reasons of our immortals are dying is because of their fellow immortals are probably killing them off, or somebody's taking them out one by one, which is still surprising that occurs with 100 intrigue. But as long as you have somebody with another 100 intrigue trying to hunt you down, I imagine it gets much more difficult. That some areas are more developed, especially it looks like Central Europe has had a lot more development than it usually gets. The steppe, as usual, not that well developed. Court languages, seems like High German is probably the winner amongst everybody. Yeah, for the most part, it's spoken in most courts. And then lastly, let's look at Gov type. We never really look at Gov type because it's not as important as it is, because that pretty much reflects the map, the religious map mode. As you can see, if you're a Muslim, you are a clan. If you're not, you're feudal. So good to know. So what did we learn when it comes to Battle Royale, to the HRE? It seems like once you are firmly in the throne, it is hard to unseat you unless somebody kills you or you do yourself in. That the Immortals are consistently good at holding land, way better than anybody else, obviously, because they have their 100 stats and they get to probably amass enough wealth and positive opinion. Like, for the most part, they probably have a solid opinion with most of their people. Yeah. And it will be interesting to see how that changes with time, with the new tours and tournament DLC coming out, with all those changes in regards to how vassals see their liege lords and vice versa. I hope to see that change a little bit as time goes on. I think that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, have a good rest of your day. Ciao.